Well, welcome back to the Ranch Horse Resource Podcast, where we talk about resources for the ranch horse. I'm Ronda Van Norman, and today I've got my husband Ty along with me to talk about a resource that you can use in the branding pen or any roping situation. And it's a situation I've seen happen time and time again, and it's happened to me too. It can happen to anyone, whether you're a number 9 heeler or someone like me who doesn't rope all that much but really enjoys it. Okay, so here's the deal. You're out of branding, it's your turn to get a heel shot, and you miss. So you hurry and build up another loop fast, take another shot, and guess what? You miss again. At this point, for some of us, those misses, man, they really start to mess with the flow of things. Frustration can build, and just like that, things go from smooth to not so smooth. I know for me, when I get frustrated, then my mind completely leaves. It quits focusing on the job, it skips all the horsemanship stuff I know is good, and I end up trying to force a shot. Now I'm taking dumb shots, and my timing is off. Shoot, I've started to get mad and taken it out on my horse and even jerked him around. Oh, surely I can't be the only one. Am I the only one that's done that? Yeah, okay, so if it gets really bad, you know what I'm talking about. You start wondering what other people are thinking about you, how long it's taking, whether you're messing everything up, and whether you should just get off and work the ground. And when we get in that place, the last thing we're probably thinking about is the things we should be thinking about. Instead of just staying present and doing our job, we step into a whole different mindset, one of stress and hurry and pressure, and it doesn't really help the flow of things. Ty, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about your mindset and what you can help us think about in those situations.
Well, I guess the first thing is you got to remember that the job's to get the calf down at the fire and get it branded. So less stress. Don't be so prideful that you're not taking a leg and you're letting it go just because you didn't like the way the loop landed or something like that, or you didn't catch 2 feet. So that's going to wear calves out. Second thing is maybe part of the reason things aren't happening as that calf gets tireder too is your horsemanship or your horse's position changes too. And then sometimes you start to get frustrated that you're not catching, or I don't know, everybody has different reasons. Maybe they're embarrassed or whatever if people are watching, and they start changing the fundamentals of their roping too. So,
oh yeah, it can happen to a number 9 heeler, and I've seen it where you would think, oh, they'll never miss. And they do, and then they miss twice, and they miss again. I've seen this one guy get so frustrated, he just went over to the branding pot and threw his rope down and grabbed another rope.
Yeah. Well, sometimes maybe your rope is messed up, but for the most part, a guy should be able to at least drag a leg out of it. I have seen it where they've had legs, and then their horse wallers forward, and they lose the leg trying to get everything stopped. So that has to do with horsemanship a little bit. So there's a few things that I'm going to try to do. If I start missing, I'm going to go back to making sure my horse has separation. If I have to reach for that heel shot a little bit, for me anyways, if I have to reach for that heel shot a little bit, that means I've got enough separation that I can get my horse. I've got room to get my horse stopped as that calf is leaving, and I won't have the problem of my horse going forward as much so that I lose whatever I had, or even lose the leg that I had it on. So what will happen is a calf that starts to get tired is your header will see you throw your loop, and then they'll quit pulling. And that sometimes you can't do anything about that. So that's where some more separation helps too, because they actually are worried about the calf, and they're trying not to, pull it any farther than they have to, but they also have to pull it far enough to get your rope tight. Sometimes that's a miscommunication on their part, or lack of paying attention. The other thing is, for me anyways, I've got to go back to my fundamentals. I want to pick my rope up and get my tip to my target and push it through the hips a couple times and then just get the tip between the front feet and the hind feet. And that's going to be as simple as I can keep it. If I start changing things too much, then you're going to start just grasping for solutions. But, if your best heel shot, if your high percentage shot is to go park your horse and throw long hip shots at something, then do that. Come in from the other side or something like that. I don't know. I mean, if you've got to do what your high percentage shot is. So.
And what is your high percentage shot, Ty, that you've found that works for you over the years?
Well, I think the most high percentage shot of any kind of shots, people can get better at different shots, but the most high percentage shot, just because of physics and angles and stuff, is I don't know what you want to call it, over the hip team roper heel loop, because you've got legs you can wrap it around. The angles are correct. If you're pushing that tip through the tip of your rope through the hips, then that means your angles are coming across, where when you get the tip between the front feet and the hind feet, that you're coming across the parts that are moving forward. So to me, that's a high percentage shot for anybody, for a little kid, for a lady, for someone, it's a green roper, it should be a really easy shot for a number 9 branding pin roper. But anyways, as soon as you can kind of laugh the stress of not catching off, maybe backing off and just throwing a wad, sometimes will be better luck. Hopefully, if you missed that much, there's an extra healer in the up on his horse that can come in and save your butt or save the calf's stress.
Having a mindset that you're not there just a rope is going to help, because if you decide that your first job is to get the calf to the fire, to get the job done, then you're going to be focused on that more than if you miss. So I could see where that could be a real advantage in your priority lineup. You understand that your first job is to just get it caught. And so like you were just saying, you might end up taking a shot that wasn't as pretty, wasn't as fancy, didn't feel as right. Maybe your horse wasn't, right with you like you wanted, but you just kept things going.
Get it caught and get it to the fire. That's the job. So, if you have lots of time or you're on your regular schedule of rolling calves to the fire, then it's not a big deal. But when now you're pushed outside of that and the calf's stressed out or starting to get that way, then, that's always got to be the main goal, is to get that calf caught into the fire, and it doesn't matter how you catch it, in my opinion.
You have to have a mindset that you're there to get the job done. But if your horse isn't helping you out at all, and you can't even get near the calf, or maybe he's twirling right when you start to throw or leaning or whatever, that could be the next thing that you would want to work on before you get to your fundamentals, right? You've got to ride your horse in order for the fundamentals to work.
Yeah. So in the saddle, if that horse does something to change, to short me 2 inches in the saddle, say like I'm swinging and he steps to the left, and just that one step shorts me, say 2 inches in my delivery from the top side or from in the saddle, it's going to short me 6 to 8 inches on the ground when that rope hits the ground. It just works that way. That goes, you can see it a lot when horses duck out or they get up to position and then want to do something like turn or quarter off or something like that. It doesn't feel like much from where you're at, but it'll change how that loop hits the ground, just because it doesn't allow you to finish your throw. So, like I said, some movement up top might only be a couple inches or a little bit of shift in angle, but when it gets transferred to where the loop hits the ground and the animal, it's the difference between catching a leg or 2 feet.
I really appreciate how you made that clear for us, that the priority is, number 1, the job at hand, number 2, your horsemanship, and number 3, the roping. Because if things are in that order, the roping just kind of takes care of itself. And I understand that sometimes your horse is going to need more than one calf, more than one run, to get everything right. But you have to have that order of priority in order to ride your horse the best, don't you? Because if you're just worried about your roping, you might end up jerking on your horse or putting him clear in a different position.
Well, yeah, your horsemanship's coming from your left hand and your legs. So they've got to be operating your horse, and your right hand's, for me, I'm right-handed. My right hand's working my rope. So I might be worried about my roping, but don't realize that my left hand is trying to, I don't know, maybe I'm leaning and I got my left hand stuck out to the left, and now I'm quartering my horse off about the time I need him, and, or about the time I get ready to throw my rope. Maybe I'm causing it. Maybe it's not just my horse. But if I keep doing that, now I'm patterning him to do that every time I come in there. So those are things I try to be aware of too, is what pattern am I setting? Because I'm teaching him something all the time. As soon as sometimes if your corral is close to your house, you're starting to teach that horse as soon as you walk out of the house. It's just it's the way it is. I mean, that's how sensitive most horses are, even the ones that we don't think are sensitive.
So every interaction we have with the horse is training them, is what you're saying. Huh. So back to this same idea, if you're in a situation where maybe they're just healing calves, and so the pressure's not quite probably as much if you miss and miss and miss because the calf's not getting stressed because it's not caught, but there's still a certain amount of stress on the rider to be the next guy with the calf at the fire. So I think these principles work the same there. First, you're there to get the job done. Second, you are going to have your best success if your horse is cooperating best with you. And number 3, your roping just takes care of itself.
Yeah, my solution to that, because I'm not a diehard heel and drag, is if that calf's getting tough to heel, a lot of times they're getting wild because most people work the cows out and they can see you coming forever on a heel shot. My solution to that is to neck it and let somebody else heel it. To be honest with you, I don't go to too many heel and drags, and they're nice to teach your horse to pull a little bit, but we don't have a lot of heel and drags here, and I don't think they're as fun as a head and heel roping. Not that I wouldn't go and just because it's still roping, but you're running into other things when you start missing there. Most of the time it's because the calves they can see it coming because people take the cows out of the calves, so they get to where they can see it coming before you ever get there, so you don't even get close to getting a heel shot. So my solution to that is just neck it, let somebody else heel it. But I don't know that's maybe a guy who won't get invited back. But if it's only a couple at the end, I don't see a problem with it, but somebody else might.
I've seen you tie at heel and drags, and you haven't had too much trouble getting them healed and getting to the fire. But give us the mindset that you laid out for us, that first you're there for the job, second, you work on your horse, and third, you have to have roping fundamentals. So talk to us a little bit about the horsemanship in the heel and drag to help you get caught. What can you do to work on your horse to help him get in and get the shot?
I don't know. Like I said, the calves handle different. Everything's set up different in the heel and drag. So what I find hardest in the heel and drag is the fact that your horse gets to anticipating things, like the turn and go to the fire the most. So it's really hard when you go into the herd and that horse is he's almost antsy about turning and going. They're more likely to start blowing their nose, or however you want to say it. And then that spooks the calves away, or pawing, or they just can't. So I'll spend some time in there, and I might just ride through and I don't know, maybe flock shoot one or something like that as I ride through them, instead of trying to ride up there to the edge and get one that's got its butt facing me and try to heel it off the edge of the herd. Maybe it's time to start riding into the herd and just get that horse back in the herd and let the calves move around you. It's like settling the herd, kind of. And then when you get an opening, heel one, and hopefully you're pointed out towards the fire then anyways, and then it's not a big deal. Your horse didn't have to turn and whirl and go, but I'll just ride in and out of there, ride figure eights in there, ride back and forth in there and stuff, and let those guys with a calmer horse rope the calves that I push to the edge or something until my horse settles down. And I'll try not to. I realize my job is to get calves to the fire, but if there's some proficient guys, other guys roping, and they're bringing calves to the fire, I'll work on I won't try to take a shot and catch a calf until my horse has settled enough that I can say he's made a change, and then that way I can build on that.
So break that down just a bit. You're coming in for a heel shot, and your horse is anticipating going left and going to the fire. You'll skip a good shot, Ty, to wait for your horse.
Maybe not necessarily. Like if I rode up there and there's a shot there, I'll take it, but I'm not going to let him turn. Like in that case, I'm going to hold him straight. He might bounce back and forth, but usually when the rope hits, the calf jumps forward. There's enough separation. I might pull him in the ground and back him up straight, and just till the calf goes down on its side or something like that before I allow him to turn. But if I get up there and he's so antsy that he's pushed the calves away and I don't have a good shot, that's when I'll start riding around through the herd and get those calves settled down. And they might blow and snort and spook the calves 2 or 3 times in there and just not want to be in there. But after a little bit of time in there, they're not, they're going to finally settle enough or make a change enough that I'm satisfied with the change, where all I have to do is get a change, like where they'll take a breath and maybe relax, or just decide, okay, it's not working for me to get antsy, and he's not throwing his rope. But a lot of times they'll feel it. I mean, as soon as you start swinging. So even if you have your shot there and you pick your rope up to start swinging, then they'll decide to do something, either blow or start stamping their feet, or get to where you can feel them kind of vibrating underneath you, where they're getting ready to whirl and go to the fire before you even got your close enough to even throw at your target.
This is making sense to me of why it's going to pay off in the long run to spend a little bit of time helping your horse relax before the turn and go to the fire, so that you can get your next heel shot a little faster, and maybe you won't have those miss because your horse is throwing a big fit.
Well, to me, as far as horsemanship, I mean, just as a general rule, if they want to go, unless I have to go left and I'm trying to turn a cow or something like that, but if I get on a horse and I'm trying to go straight or and they want to go left, I'm going to turn right until they start waiting on me. The horses will start they're not dumb. They're going to start trying to figure out, especially in a branded trap, how to beat you to something to make their job, they think, easier. But it isn't necessarily. So if I got a horse when I go to heel, he's wanting to just quarter off or turn to the left, I'm going to spend some time, like especially there where I can heel one and maybe just hold my rope up and I'm going to turn him to the right underneath my rope, and then dally when my rope comes back around to that side. So he might get turned to the right 2 or 3 times, depending on which way he's leaning when I get there. So if, like, even riding colts or whatever, like if I have time, or it's not necessarily detrimental to getting the job done. If I have time, if I feel my horse leaning to the left, I'm going to set it up so that he has to go to the right. If I feel him leaning to the right, I'm going to set it up so he has to go to the left, so that he starts staying straight underneath me and waiting on me to give him the cue of which way to go. Same way with forward and back. My whole goal is to get my horse to stay between my hands and legs, right to left, forward and back. So anytime I feel him pushing the edge, then I'm going to do something to set it up to where it reminds him to stay in the middle and get balanced.
In review, what I hear you saying is that if you're at a branding or a roping really of any kind on the heel side, and you've missed and you have an opportunity to go again, you've got to put things in order of working on your mindset, not getting distracted, of worrying about how you look or who's watching. You're there for a job. Think about the job and try to get your horse to be as honest and true as he can. Get you in the best position.
Yeah, for me, I've done it long enough. I know where my horse needs to be, how he should feel, whether he feels that way or not, but I know where he should be. I know where he needs to be for me to be successful with my loop. I know what my loop or my right hand needs to be doing. So to me, my main focus is just get to my spot and catch. That's my main focus. If I'm struggling somewhere, just get to your spot. I don't care if your horse's head's on upside down or whatever. Get to your spot, your spot is right to left according to where that calf's hind end is, and separation forward to back, so that I can use my rope to the best of my ability. And then my catch is that I'm going to measure that calf off at the tip of my loop. I have my sweet spot, and I'm not going to try not to throw before that or after that. It's going to be one of those deals and so that's all becomes muscle memory. So for a green roper, you might have to break it down more and try to nitpick it a little bit. But for somebody that's been roping that's been roping a while and can ride their horse, it's just a matter of getting your position, get to your spot and catch. And like that. I'm not saying rope 2 feet. You might have fumbled the ball there and got a leg. Take it. The calf's. It's all about the job, the calf, and him getting done.
Well, in the end, I think those mindsets and those strategies are going to help keep everything a little smoother. And the biggest thing, you're going to be a little happier and your horse is going to get a lot better. Well, thanks for listening in today. I hope you can take away from this that missing a loop isn't the only thing that can get you in trouble. It's what happens next. If you can just learn to stay in the present, slow things down, and go back to riding your horse, setting your shot up, and focusing on the fundamentals, you'll find your way back to a smooth catch a whole lot faster. If you got something out of this and you want to take it just a bit further, go ahead and go on over to our website, www.ranchhorseresource.com, and go ahead and book a coaching call with Ty. If you want, you can even send us in a little clip of your branding video, and I bet you we can give you something you can get to work on right away. Remember, if you ride prepared, your rope will prove it.